Hey, it's Raven Tactical here. Um, we're gonna try to get back to this whiteboard stuff. I got some free time right now. We added a light so that we can actually get maybe a little bit brighterness on here. The topic of today is if you haven't seen the latest commercial or trailer, I guess if you want to call it, for the movie Songbird. Originally, I thought the movie was called COVID 23. Michael, I can't think of the guy, producer's name. The guy that did a lot of the Transformer movies and all that. Also did 13 Hours in Benghazi. He's producing this movie. Originally, I thought it was going to be on Netflix, but I looked it up. It's just going to be a release on December 11th for 15-20 bucks. Everybody can watch it. So I'm going to put the link in the trailer, but if it doesn't happen, get in there fast enough. Just go to YouTube, type in Songbird trailer. What the movie is about is what's going on now. So I believe it's 2023. COVID has gone for 280 days of lockdown. The cities are basically shut down completely. People are desperate to get out. People are begging to get out. You have a tyrannical rule government who's locked people into their homes. Um, you have people who are immune, basically the rare people who are immune, who are allowed to roam free. They're marked. The people are required to do like a thermal scan or an anomaly scan. Um, when the scan fails, or if you're infected with the COVID, they send out basically a armed escort to come pick you up. That's kind of the basis of the movie, but it's showing, in my opinion, what is the psyops of everything here. So psychological operations. It's a very important thing in the military. Every major person does it. Every group does it. Every police station does it. Psyops is the psychological operation. You're basically messing with people's minds to get them to do what you want, right? So, in my opinion, Songbird is a warning in a way, but it's also a conditioning. You're conditioning people through commercials for COVID right now with the um, stay safe, the stay at home, be calm, and it's kind of almost like Demolition Man ish. If you haven't seen it, this weird, almost like peace through community kind of thing, and it's very strange and it's different, right? So you're seeing that. You're also seeing it in movies like Songbird. The news has been completely destroyed. I've said before, Fox News was bought out by Disney a long time ago. So you don't have any major news that's being somewhat fair and balanced anymore. Newsmax and Owen, if I'm saying it correctly, are supposedly this new things. There's a couple other smaller ones that are coming up. Epoch Times, if I'm saying it correctly, is also another one, but they're all subscription based, which I get, so that they don't have to basically sell you news in a way like selling you basically Fox News sells out um, for commercial space. So I get that. Um, there are things in battles. My viewpoint on news would be listen to multiple sources about the same topic, and you're getting kind of let's just say, let's say this is the topic. Well, if you listen to CNN, you get a CNN article, and you get Fox, you get one over here from, let's see, NPR, right? And then you get maybe like OM and Newsmax. Well, you're going to see different perspectives of this, and a lot of times you're going to see, a bias, maybe a broad spectrum. But having a chance to view it from different angles probably might give you a more true version of what's going on. Schools right now are in virtual. A lot of schools are in virtual mode because it's going to be shut down, and it's going to be shut down. I would imagine it's going to be shut down for the remainder of the entire school year, at least. Um, but they're also indoctrinating people through the schools. They are in a little bit of a trouble because they want kids focused on their teacher on the computer, and they don't want people, not there. So it's kind of a bizarre situation where you're almost better off homeschooling your kids at this point. You can set them up if your kids are old enough. I would say probably middle school to high school. You almost can set them up if they're that kind of student to be able to do it themselves. And then you help out as you go along. It's not the most optimal thing, but at least you're controlling what they're being taught. Um, it's one of the reasons that our daughter went to a private school, which is now going virtual, which sucks, but controlling, at least controlling or at least monitoring what you are getting fed matters. Um, so that I put in there the KGB, right? So been rewatching, or I should say rewatching. I've been trying to watch the show The Americans. It was an older show back, about 5, 6 years ago. And the KGB and many militaries like this, many like secret police things, they put out test subjects, right? If you pump people for a couple months full of fear topics, fear things in the news, fear things in the schools, fear things of this, people start to believe it. I mean, it's the same thing as forming a habit, right? They say it takes 14 days to form a habit. So these psychological operations, if you have to think about it, be smart about it. Think about why they're trying to do this to you. So why would you want to condition people to be prepared for COVID, or be prepared like this is going to be the new norm? So understand that the new norm really sucks, because every freedom you've ever had is going to be taken away. So Songbird, the movie, I consider it somewhat maybe it's a darker image of the future, but I think it's a foretelling of what the future could look like. I don't think COVID's going away. It's not going to end this month because of the election. It's not going to end because you have a vaccine. What it's going to be is they found a way to instill fear, and I'd say 80 to 90% of the population buys into this whole fear of COVID. And it's a legit cold, or it's a legit sickness. But the majority of it is, I would put it in the perspective of, there's a lot of other things that you're dying from where COVID isn't as bad. Is it a pandemic? Yes, in a way. But is it like where 1 in 4 people die from it? No, it's very rarely that you die from it. So I think it's very strange that they took a man-made disease, I guess if you want to call it, and it is a pandemic, but they've shifted it to put into the fact that people are going to be afraid of everything at this point. People are afraid to now go to Thanksgiving. They've restricted it. Most states now, a bunch of states have limits on it. Minnesota has a restriction that you can't have Thanksgiving outside your house. If your family, only your family and that household family can have it. You're going to see probably coming weeks where families do get interrupted and families get, how would I put it, arrested, fined, because they had Thanksgiving with their family or extended friends. I think, and then you're going to see the same people who believe in this are going to tell these people, you're killing grandma, they deserve it, you guys are selfish, and I'm going to go, for what? This isn't nothing, You're basically going to put everybody into their homes, and that's the goal. That's what the movie Songbird is. Everybody's going to be trapped in their home. You can't get out, and you have to rely on government to take care of you and save you. And that's kind of what this movie shows. I'm looking forward to the movie because I think as preparedness people and preppers and anybody who's in this kind of realm should take this movie, buy it, get with your group, and watch it together and take a little bit of notes and take notes and go, you know what? This is what's coming. This is a outlook or a viewpoint of it. How are we going to react to this? What should we do in preparation for it? So, how to prepare for it, right? Like I said, get together with your group, watch the movie. Don't ignore the movie. In my opinion, ignoring things like different movies or ignoring a certain news article just because you don't like it is silly. Putting your head in the sand doesn't solve anything. So, watch the movie. Look at it like, what are the things in that movie that they lack and they're afraid of and they're requiring government, right? I can guarantee you in the movie that the main characters are probably normal people who don't own guns, who don't do anything, and it's going to be kind of this, got a little anti-gun image in there and all this stuff. However, think about it. What things are you going to need that you can't get? Stores are already having a run on stores in some places. They're getting swamped and bought out again. Toilet paper is coming around because this is COVID part deuce. So you're going to have the same thing you had in March. And the irony is we're getting really close. once again to March. We're not too far from having 12 months of this right now. I think it's going to continue. Things you can probably look forward to, money. It's going to become cashless. Some stores already now won't even take cash. You have to do debit or credit transaction. What does it mean? Along with the vaccine, it's going to help control, right? If you go to a cashless society and you go to a digital society, you no longer can have a rummage sale. You no longer can have all these little things that you used to have. Why? Well, now you get taxed on these little items that you probably should have taxed people on. Or now you're creating income, right? So all these little things that you have. If you want to buy Jim Bob's boat and you pay him in cash $1,000, well, now the government knows you bought a boat, you bought this, and you now owe taxes on it, right? So now that takes away the whole freedom of just doing private sales, right? The government's going to be in your business. They know exactly what you bought. They can register and track everything you do even further. Cashless also means that it winds up being you lose control. You have no control of anything you have. Every dollar, every penny you earn will be completely taxed and taken away from you. And here's the other part. If they want to shut your electronic digital money off, it's a flick of a switch, and now you have no ability to shop because you have no money. So what happens if you don't get the vaccine, right? Well, vaccine looks like if you don't get this COVID vaccine, they could tell you that you could maybe if you get a choice, you will not be allowed to shop, enter society, enter the mall, enter the stores. You won't be allowed to go to school. You won't be allowed to go to work. So basically, they're going to put you in a position of, if you don't get it, you're not going to have it. You're not going to be able to be part of the country. You're not going to be a citizen. Here's what I look at it as. Call it what you want. If you think about how the biblical revelations is, this isn't the mark of the beast, in my opinion. I think it's a pre-mark of the beast. So it's a way to test run to see how they can implement something like this. Because if you read Revelations, the end of times, the mark of the beast is chosen. You have to swear allegiance to the beast, right? And that's where you get it. And then thus you can do all your transactions still. This, I think, is a precursor to it. This is a trial run to see where you would go. What else do I got? I'm putting this out here. I saw the trailer. I thought it was crazy. And I like movies, so I kind of thought, well, that's kind of an exciting movie. But man, it's really, really coming true. Like, there's things that they're not even hiding anymore. Now, the election, I guess, on the end point, do I think it matters who wins the election? I think if Trump wins, cool, right? We all are hoping for a conservative to win. Because if a conservative wins, we are usually under the impression that we're safe, okay? You were safe in 2016. 2016, I'm going to write it up. 2016 to 2019 was the safe years. And what I said was you should totally prep and use that time to prep because everything was cheap. Prep for it, just prep. Everything was cheap. Ammunition and firearms were at the cheapest point between these 3 years. These 3 years, ammunition, food, supplies, everything. Why? Because people stopped. So people stopped. They went, well, someone's going to save us all. The person I elected is going to turn this country around. Come 2019, the end of 2019, we started having COVID. We started having all this stuff with the election. Now you have election fraud. So now what do you do, right? I think if Trump wins, you're going to see mass riots. And in my opinion, the whole election fraud, I think it was shifted to try to make this happen. So that Trump wins based on a technicality, or he wins based on all this recount, which that other side won't accept, which forces them to go into riot mode and have excuses to burn everything down. I think my prediction would be that. Now, I think the normal prediction was a normal Republican candidate would have conceded and walked away from it. So I'm pretty sure this is what they wanted. I don't think Biden was really their intent candidate to win. He just really isn't the strong candidate, and I don't think they really wanted Harris either, in my opinion. However, if the election on all that fails, you're going to have probably some of the harshest executive orders, because I think we're going to probably lose the House if Georgia falls, and you're going to lose basically all three branches of government, other than the or not branches, but the House and the Senate and the president will all be tied together. They will have the ability to walk with it. And unfortunately, Republicans don't always band together, so you're going to get a lot of turncoat Republicans flipping to save their seats to go do whatever the Democrats want. So you're going to see a lot of this where I think there is no stopping it. Gun control is probably going to be right away. Taxes are going to go skyrocketing, and you're just going to see a lot of things where, especially a president that wants to ban oil or ban oil cars and all this, it's going to be rough. Like the next several years, I think, is just a lead up to seeing what the country falls. And it's unfortunate, right? So, with that, it's Raven Tactical out. Please like, share, and subscribe. I know it's a longer video and more of a little bit of rambling. I enjoy those subscribers. I think we're getting close to 800 people. If we can push, I'm hopefully get 1,000 people by January. That would be maybe a goal. I'd love to see what happens when YouTube unlocks everything for us. But anyways, thank you again. Have a nice day. It's Raven Tactical out.